Hey guys, we're going to continue going over your chapter review. This is number 10, and you should have drawn this chart from the book on your piece of paper. If you didn't, make sure you do. You'll stop the video and copy the chart down. So before we start that, I want to look at these formulas. To find the perimeter, we're going to add our length plus our width, and then multiply that answer by 2. To find our area, we're going to do length times width. So 11 plus 1 is 12, and 12 times 2 is 24. So our perimeter of this first one would be 24. Our area is 11 times 1 is 11. All right, the next one. 10 plus 2 is 12. 12 times 2 is 24. 10 times 2 for the area is 20. 9 plus 3 is 12. 12 times 2, or if you don't know how to do 12 times 2, you could do 12 plus 12, is 24. Our area, which is length times width, 9 times 3 is 27. 8 plus 4 is 12, times 2 is 24. 8 times 4 is 32. 7 plus 5 is 12, times 2 is 24. 7 times 5 is 35. And finally, 6 plus 6 is 12, times 2 is 24, or and the area, 6 times 6 is 36. So what I want you to do now is make sure that your chart has the answers that my chart has so pause the video, and then when you're done checking that, we'll come back and continue on with number 12. Okay, so in order to complete number 12 and 14, we need to do a couple of things first. We need to figure out the perimeter and the area of each of these shapes. So I've made a couple more notes for you to write down so that tomorrow when you're taking your test, you can use these to help you. To find the perimeter, we add all sides. So if a shape has 6 sides, we would add 6 numbers. If a shape has 3 sides, we would add 3 numbers. In this case, all of our shapes are rectangles, so we're adding 4 numbers. So we know for a rectangle that the opposite sides are going to be the same length. So I can fill in the missing numbers here, and then I'm going to add. So for this shape, it would be 10 plus 10 is 20, plus 1 is 21, plus another 1 is 22. Our perimeter would be 22. Our area, length times width, 10 times 1, which is 10. For this one, our perimeter, we have 4 plus 7 plus 4 plus 7, which would be 22. And our area would be 4 times 7, which is 28. Remember, you have that multiplication chart in the front of your soft math book. You may use that to help you. Finally, our perimeter here, 5 plus 5 is 10, plus 2 is 12, plus 2 is 14. Our area, 5 times 2, is 10. Okay, let's look at our questions. Number 12, what is the perimeter of the 2 rectangles that have the same perimeter? So which 2 of these have the same perimeter? Well, that would be A and B have the same perimeter. And it asks, what is that perimeter? And it is 22. For number 14, what is the area of the 2 rectangles that have the same area? So let's look. Which 2 have the same area? Well, that would be A and C have the same area, and the area is 10. Now notice I did not write A and C because it didn't say which 2 rectangles have the same area. It said what is the area. So make sure you have this written for 12 and 14, and then we will go on to number 15. Okay, now number 15. The question tells us that the perimeter is 26 inches, and it tells us that the length is 7 inches. So what does that tell me? Well, that tells me that this side is 7 and also that this side is 7. What I need to figure out is the width. So I am going to add 7 plus 7, and I'm going to get 14. 26 minus 14 is equal to 12. However, I can't put 12 here and 12 here because then my numbers will add up to a higher number than 26. I have to take that 12 and divide it by 2. And that would tell me that my side is 6. Now, you should never get these wrong. And here's why. You can check your work. So I am going to check and make sure that when I add my sides together, they equal 26. So if I add 6 plus 7 plus 6 plus 7, I am going to get 26. So that means my answer is correct. If I had put 12 there, I would have had 12 plus 12 is 24, plus 14 is 38. I would have been way over. So make sure that you check your work after you find those sides. Okay, so for number 16, first I want you to take this note. To find the length and width, when you know the perimeter, you're going to take the perimeter and you're going to divide it by 2. And that will tell me what the length plus the width have to be. So I'm going to take 30 and I'm going to divide it by 2, and that equals 15. That means that my length plus my width have to equal 15. I'm always going to start with the number 1. So 1 plus what equals 15? 14. 2 plus what equals 15? 13. And you're going to notice a pattern here. So if you continue to fill your chart out, it will look like this. We have a length and a width, and if we add those together, multiplied by 2, they would equal 30. Or the reverse of that is we take the 30 divided by 2 is 15, and then they have to add up to 15. So here's all the combinations that can add up to 15. They want to know for this question, what's the largest and greatest area? So now that we know the sides, we can find the areas. The largest is going to be at the bottom, and the smallest is going to be at the top. So our smallest area would be 14 square inches. And again, you can write the IN and then this little symbol, that means squared. And our greatest is going to be 56 square inches. All right, so for number 17, it's kind of like number 16, only they've given us the area instead of giving us the perimeter. So in order to determine the perimeter, we have to look at what the lengths and widths could be. So if the area is 28, we need to know, because we know length times width is equal to area, then we need to figure out what times what can equal 28. So the first thing I always start with is 1 and 28. Then I would go to 2. I know it's an even number, so I know it's divisible by 2. So 2 times 14 would give me 28. Then I would think, can I do 3 times anything? Well, no, because 3 times 9 is 27, so I can't do 3 times anything. Then I would say 4. Okay, so 4 times 7 is 28. I can't do 5 times anything. That would be 30. 5 times 6 is 30. 6 times 5 is 30. So there are only 3 possibilities for the length and the width. So now, in order to find the perimeter, I am going to add the length and width together and multiply it by 2. So 28 plus 1 is 29. Now, I have not taught you yet. We're going to learn, not next week, but the week after, we're going to learn how to do these the right way, how to do 2-digit by 1-digit multiplication. But we haven't learned that yet. So what you can do for now is just do an addition problem. 9 plus 9 is 18. Carry the 1. So the perimeter of this one would be 58. And that's all they asked for. They asked for the greatest perimeter. And that's going to be the greatest perimeter. We could prove it because we could keep going. 16 plus 16 is 32. And 11 plus 11 is 22. But this is the greatest perimeter, 58. And that would be your answer. Okay, so for number 18, they tell us that our shape is a square. What do we know about a square? We know that all 4 sides of a square are the same. So if the perimeter is 20, I can do 20 divided by 4 to find out how much each side is. And I get the answer of 5. Again, I can check it because I can write in 5, 5, 5, 5, and I can see if my perimeter is in fact 20. Let's see. 5, 10, 15, 20. So that's my perimeter. Now I have to find my area. Again, the formula for area is length times width. So I would do 5 times 5. So my area would be 25, and my unit is square centimeters. So centimeters, and then the little 2 means squared. Okay, guys, number 19 and 20. So the 2 ways you can solve this problem, you can draw a picture or you can write an equation. You'll see I've drawn the picture of the hexagon, 6 sides, and labeled each side with a 7. Then you could just add all the sides together, 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7. That would give you 42 inches. Or, since we know that a hexagon has 6 sides and each side is 7, 6 times 7 is 42. Okay, so you should have everything corrected now. If there's something you still don't understand, have mom or dad email me the page with all your notes and all your work, and then I will either send you some notes to help you or set up a meeting. All right, let me know how you did.